Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for August 21st, 2024. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Human,
Here.
Vice Chair Koschel, Commissioner Quinn,
Here.
Commissioner Barrichello, Commissioner Lopez,
Here.
Commissioner Gola,
Here.
Commissioner Schwartzer.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Both Commissioner Koschel and Kyle have excused absence. Kyle had an accident, was in an accident. I believe he's in the hospital still. So hopefully a speedy recovery to Kyle to come back to commission. Okay, before this meeting, we had discussed a bunch of items on our consent agenda. I do have one speaker card for Magnolia. And I apologize, it's really hard to read this, but I believe is it Mary? If you'd like to come up and talk about this item, that'd be great. If you come up, state your name and address for the record, that'd be great.
Yeah, sorry you couldn't read it. Good morning. My name is Marianne Easterday. I live at 2194 East Genemee Place. That's Windermere Ranch next door to the development that is being developed. Different things have been going on. Different contractors has been in there doing their work. And I have called for dust control a few times, but I haven't lately with the different construction things. But they're getting a little lazy with watering before they do any construction. And one of the things, she was going to put that up on the screen. So this is right next to, right on the other side is this fence where they're doing the work. And that's how much dust is coming across a lot at the times. So, so I would like them to take more care of what their development is doing. Also, I've gone to their meetings and I've noticed that on the perimeter, on the outside, they're going to be one-story houses. But I would like to know for sure if inside they're going to be one-story or two-story. And and none of the pictures I saw today showed a two-story house. So that's one of the answers I would like to know for sure. What other houses are going to be in there?
Okay. Thank you for bringing the dust control, and we'll have the applicant put this is all stipulated as single story. The entire
They're
project.
all single
All
story.
single story, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, okay, but I'll let Mr. Ray address the dust issue.
Sure, certainly. Through the chair, members of the commission, Brennan Ray, 1850 North Central, here on behalf of the applicant Shea Homes. With respect to dust control, as you know, that is regulated by Maricopa County and the dust control permit. If there's not a sign up there, we're in big trouble with the county because we're required to have a dust control permit that numbers at the county with numbers at the county for people to call in case we're not doing what we should be. That said, we're not aware of anything. We're grateful that the neighbor would show up. We will go back and take a look at things to make sure that we are complying with the county regulations of watering and everything that's going on out there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you can make sure that, sometimes when people aren't on site often enough, people get lazy and it's cheaper not to do it. So if you can make sure that happens, and if you can also maybe give your phone number to the, or have somebody from Shea give the phone number directly to our citizen, that they have maybe a quick contact to as well if there's a problem.
Yes, we.
I'm sorry?
They do have a board up with their number.
Yeah, but I'd like them to get you a phone number that's a lot quicker. So that if you do have a problem, it can be resolved fairly quickly. So
Not a problem.
Thank you. Okay. I don't think we had any additional stipulations on any of the items, correct, Steph? Nope. Okay, great. So let me go to the audience. If there's anything, the items number 1 through 10 will be voted on in one motion. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to have a discussion on any of the other items that are presented?
Hey, Chair, if I could interrupt, sorry.
Sure.
There is, I believe, an addendum memorandum on the dais for an additional stipulation on Magnolia that should be read into the record.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So there is the item on the dais to change the Item number 5, the same elevation shall not be built side by side or directly across the street from one another with the exceptions of lot 55 to 65, where the elevation is going to occur directly across the street. Okay. So that's into the record. So what is the commission's pleasure?
Chair.
Whoops, sorry.
Wasn't one of the items pulled and we did not present it?
No.
Was it 7?
7. No, they withdrew it. It was a withdrawal. Yeah, they withdrew the item completely.
No,
So,
7 was withdrawn.
I'm sorry.
7 was withdrawn.
It's a withdrawal. It's stated that way. So
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the commission's pleasure?
So, Chair.
Through Commissioner Lopez.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda for the Planning and Zoning regular meeting of August 21st, items 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 9 to 10.
Well, 7 be included because it's even though it's a withdrawal. So it's just approval of consent agenda.
Okay, is that correct? We still approve a withdrawal?
I
Either way.
think if we did a general approval of the consent agenda, that's clear enough for me on the record. I'm also fine with how the motion was stated.
Okay. Either way, that's fine.
Okay.
Do we have a-
Second.
we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. All right, next item is, we have an action item number 11, preliminary development plan for Chandler and Cooper Retail, located at the northwest corner of Cooper and Chandler Boulevard. I think we had some discussions between the sessions. So if you want to do a brief hearing on this one, I think we resolved one of the major issues, so.
Good evening. This is PLH 2409, Chandler and Cooper Retail. I'll just kind of breeze through this real fast. So it is located at the northwest corner of Cooper and Chandler Boulevard, zoned for commercial uses. And the preliminary development plan is an approval for a new drive-through building. The vacant subject site was approved for inline shops connected to the Walmart building. In 2005, the PDP for the grocery anchored shopping center received substantial neighborhood opposition due to the request for the 3 drive-through uses. A PDP is required as a drive-through is more intense than the approved plans and disrupts the pedestrian circulation. Planning staff is fundamentally against that request. The proposed use is a restaurant. The building square footage is 3,350 square feet. Parking spaces required and provided would be 37 spaces. This would be the elevation. They are tying back into that center and matching the Walmart, Burger King, and Goodwill out there. A neighborhood meeting was held on May 6, 2025 with no one in attendance other than the staff and applicant. It was posted on social media via Nextdoor, and staff is unaware of any opposition. And there are 2 motions, a proposed and an alternative, one being staff recommends denial of the preliminary development plan. And the alternative motion is Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of preliminary development plan PLH 2409 Chandler and Cooper Retail Shops A for a new drive-through building subject to the conditions as recommended by planning staff. And staff is available for questions.
So we talked to the applicant. One of the big concerns I know from staff was safety regarding the pedestrian access coming from Cooper Road. I personally don't have a big heartburn with the drive-through, but I do have a problem with the safety issue. So I know we talked about it. You guys worked up a step.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read that into the record, please?
Yes. The applicant shall work with staff to incorporate a raised speed table at drive-through exit and incorporate textured paving adjacent to all pedestrian crossings.
I think we also talked about widening those pedestrian, if you could add that and stuff, so. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Okay, the applicant
Chair,
wanted.
Chair, I'm sorry, if we could, if we're gonna amend that stipulation language to include something about widening, I might just want it stated what that is. What do we mean by widening?
Okay. All right, we're gonna let the applicant come up and then we'll finish the
Okay.
step. Okay,
Thanks.
so. You want to state your name and address for the record? You're good at that tonight?
Thank you, Chair. Members of the Commission, Brendan Ray, 1850 North Central, here on behalf of the applicant. I have a robust presentation in my pocket that I'm happy to go through, but I will forego that unless the Commission would like the full presentation. A couple of things I would like to emphasize. Number one, this is an infill site that's been zoned for a very long time. And Walmart is pretty good at bringing and lifting the area around it in terms of additional shops and retail and other things. They are a draw. Yet nevertheless, in spite of Walmart being located here, this parcel, this infill parcel has failed to develop, and it really is in an area that kind of is the hole in the middle of the donut as we look at it. And so we've worked closely with staff, and we're certainly respectful of staff's position, but we've worked closely with them on the design of the building, on the architecture, on traffic mitigation, to ensure that it is, if recommended for approval by the council, or excuse me, by the commission, that it is something that will fit in with the area and something that will be appropriate. With respect to the comment about pedestrian safety, we're absolutely concerned about pedestrian safety as well. And I think in discussing things in between study session and now, we have no problem agreeing to it, the stipulation that the additional stipulation that Darcy read, with a table, a raised table, raised pedestrian access point at that exit point of the drive-through as it's leaving. I think that's very appropriate. We'd always planned to have something there anyway and agree to it. With respect to the other pedestrian crossings, because there is a sidewalk that is planned to go from Cooper Road across not only our frontage, but connect to the Walmart as well. And so there are two other vehicular crossings where they cross with pedestrian paths. We show textured paving there. That's approximately 5 feet wide. But I think as we discuss things in between, the desire was that the width of that textured paving in those areas where pedestrian vehicles cross or interact, excuse me, that becomes widened. And I'm not sure what that diameter is at the end of the day, but probably what I would suggest is that the stipulation be reflected to say, enhanced paving or textured paving or something to that effect, so that it is something above and beyond what we've already shown on the plans. We are agreeable to that. Again, I can go into a lot more details should the commission want. But with that, happy to answer questions, and we would request your recommendation for approval.
Questions, the applicant? Okay. Kevin, can we just maybe on what we're talking about, or Brandon, you can maybe throw it up, that what we're talking about to help the attorney come up with the language? Is there a way to blow that up so that what we're talking about? So we're really talking about those, the speed table, however its terminology is, coming out of the drive-through, but the other two areas of widening, I think they're about 5 feet now, Kevin, something like that. So do we want to go to 8 feet, or roughly 8 feet, or approximately 8 feet, or?
If I may, with respect to Planning Administrator Mr. Mayo, I think the width there is approximately 9 feet, give or take. If I remember looking on my diagram, that's a little more clear there. So if it's 8 or 9 or whatever, we know that it needs to be more than the 5 that we're showing.
I agree. It's probably going to be somewhere right around the 9 foot, because that's the width of the total non-parking place, non-drive aisle area. But we would match it to that width so that it doesn't seem out of place.
Okay. So we have the stip read into it. We'll just add that wording into the stipulation. Okay. Okay. Any questions of the applicant?
I got a question.
Brian?
So for the textured pavement, is there any consideration to what that's going to be? Is it going to be stamped asphalt, pavers? What's the initial thought for that textured pavement?
Through the chair, Commissioner Schwarzer, we're not sure yet at this point of the game.
Okay.
That's something that we will work closely with staff on. We understand that the desire there is that there is a different feel, if you will, as you drive a vehicle over it. And depending on the treatment that's used, it might not give the desired result of a textured feel as one drives in a vehicle across it.
Okay.
Chairman, if I could jump in really quick, the center as a whole had textured paving at different pedestrian crosswalks. Our intent would be to match that. I believe that it was pavers. That's what we did back in the early 2000s. You know that you're getting old when you did this in your 20s and it's coming back again. So I was the original planner on it, and now Darcy's bringing this forward for the amendment. So I believe that there's a detail that was approved in the original development booklet for the type of paver that it was. we would match it. If we can't get that paver, we would find something close that resembles it. The intent is it matches and it provides that physical, audible awareness that you're crossing something other than just a drive out.
Gotcha.
So I just want for clarification, since I was on the P and Z when we clarified that we all old, is that what you're saying, or just older?
I actually don't think any of us have aged. We're still the same.
Okay, good. I just want to clarify that. So, okay. Any other questions for the applicant? Mr. Ray, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Anybody in the audience would like to talk about this case? Seeing none. Staff, will you want to just, let's tweak that stipulation for the record. So Thomas, that'll be okay? Okay, good.
The applicant shall work with staff to incorporate a raised speed table at drive-through exit and incorporate 9-foot wide textured paving adjacent to all pedestrian crossings.
Okay. Good with that? Okay. Any other questions of staff? Okay. So I just need a motion on this item. Commissioner Lopez, hit the button quick.
Chair. I move the approval of the preliminary development plan PLH 24-0009 Chandler and Cooper Retail Shops A, located at the northwest corner of Cooper Road and Chandler Boulevard to include stated stipulation.
Okay. Thomas, is that good? Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Gola. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you to staff. Thank you to the applicant. We do appreciate that. Announcements, anything from staff?
Yes, Chair, Chair and Commission, as we approach the end of August, we're looking at the last 4 months of the year. Council meets only 1 week of each month, and so we would like to look at the calendar to consider canceling one of the 2 Planning and Zoning Commission meetings while still being friendly and getting applicants across the finish line. And so look out for an email suggesting the planning and zoning dates that we plan on anticipating having for the last 4 months of the year. And that's it.
Okay, thank
So
you.
there's 4 months of Christmas shopping left.
There we go.
Chairman, if I could jump in really quick, just add one more thing.
Sure.
As much as we just joke about we're not aging, I am, and I won't be here forever, and so you're going to see a slight different approach to planning commission. It has absolutely been my favorite part of my career is planning commission, but I'm going to be stepping down off of here. Sometimes I'll be in the audience, sometimes I won't be here, but the best way for me to get the folks ready to replace me is to get them up here and kind of running this. So you're going to see David and Lauren kind of running it with a much higher emphasis on Lauren to start kind of taking the reins and making this hers and getting me out of that. So you guys are going to see me slowly fading off and focusing mostly on council. I just want to give you guys a heads up and the reason why this is happening. So we will appreciate all of your guys' effort as we help grow Lauren and even our associate planners and city planners. So I always appreciate planning commission's care that is taken to kind of growing our staff. So
Are you trying to ask us to be nice to Lauren? We always are.
actually, it's good to kind of stress test them. So go ahead and push them a little bit.
Okay. All right. Labor Day is coming up. Everybody have a safe, happy Labor Day weekend, and we are adjourned.